Hi everyone, this is Akua Hinds. It's wonderful to chat with you again like this, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Michelle Bacani-Lim.
Hey everybody, how's it going? How's it out there?
We hope you're having a really wonderful day. I don't know what time it is where you are at, but here it is quarter to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so it's bright and sunny outside. The autumn leaves are falling down, just beautiful, beautiful colors, and that's great because sometimes we need a reminder that we're constantly transitioning into different seasons of our lives. And sometimes nature is the greatest reminder of that. And we don't even need to wait for the different seasons to start a new season. You might be in a season of self discovery, personal growth, financial growth, independence, just about anything. So, whatever season that you're in right now, I hope it's a good one.
I would love to talk about that actually. I was
Sure.
listening to, if you ever get a chance, listening to a recording of Tim Ferriss, and he was actually interviewing his one of his mentors, or who he believes to be a mentor of his, which is Tony Robbins, and that's actually a person that I started reading when I first got into personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And they were and Tony Robbins talks about seasons, and he says that we're in certain stages of our life. And lately, I know we've been discussing this, and I'd love to touch upon it, which has been this phase of really looking at your goals and really looking at what you want to create in your life, and really focusing on, you know, what to purge, what to
Yes,
cleanse, what to
absolutely.
get rid of, what to be conscious of, and who to be around, and who to be around more, and who to pray to more, who
Yes.
to spend time with. Um, so yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that, and get your take on where you've been in that part of the process.
Definitely, and I'd love to hear your
Sure.
experiences too over the past few months because it's been a while since we filmed. It's been a while
Yeah, it
since we
has.
filmed together, and it's been a while since I've filmed individually. I think it's been a while since you've filmed individually too, right?
It has been. Do you want to talk about that first?
Sure,
Or
sure.
yeah. It has been a long time, and I really wanted to. I think one of the things that's important to me with the camera and with the work that we do in media, and I think we're involved in a lot of different levels.
We are.
And I think what's really important to me is to be authentic. And sometimes I understand that there's certain areas of our life that we want to maintain our privacy, but there's also ways that I think that I can be more authentic to you, the audience. By saying that, I have avoided the camera, I think, for a little while as I've been doing my own journey into understanding where my career is going, into understanding where my life is going as a mother, as a wife, as a lover of life, and just um, taking that time for myself. And to be really honest, I think kind of hiding under a blanket and kind of hiding under a bushel and really hiding my light. And so I am really glad that we're having this conversation and that we're recording it right now because it's just a sign that I'm breaking through that barrier that I've created for myself. And I think that's important for a lot of people to do that are involved in media. Have you ever gone through that before?
Absolutely. In fact, I have even just taken a little break from even talking to my regular people.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know that the next time that I want to
Yeah.
have conversations with some people in my life, I want to do it in a different way. I don't want to be repeating a pattern of sameness, especially when I'm in this mode where I really want to transition. I even purposefully, and I didn't share this with you, but I purposefully took a little break from calling you for a few days because the next time I wanted to talk to you, I wanted you to see a difference in the way
Wow.
that I interacted. I wanted to be more positive. I wanted to be more faith-filled.
That's great.
And I wanted to make sure that I was really thinking about, because you have coached me, and I wanted to just vouch for Michelle. She's really wonderful. She's a really great coach, very great encourager. In fact, I think that's one of your gifts. is the gift of
Thank
encouragement.
you.
You're welcome. And
The ultimate cheerleader.
absolutely. In fact, we had this meeting scheduled, and I wanted, and I'm glad that we did because I know that it's whenever I meet with Michelle that I really feel inspired, and I really wanted to take some time to just
I'm
sort of.
glad.
Oh, I'm glad too. Thank you.
Thank
It's.
you, because you keep me on point. I think
Oh,
that when
thanks.
I know that I'm going to be on camera with you, it's I mean that just goes to show it's accountability and
Thank
it's
you.
it's commitment that you're making. And I mean, it's been a long time since I've been on camera, and been on camera on my like by myself,
Hmm.
and relaunched the whole show and done a bunch of things like that. Um, and I'm working at it. I think I'm doing better and better, but I really do appreciate you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And there are other people who seem to be very appreciative too. I was actually out to dinner with a friend of mine, and that friend's friend had said to me that she watches our show.
Oh,
This was
that's so
about 2 weeks
cool.
ago, yes. And so I am really
I
glad
shouldn't
that
have
we
looked so
are.
surprised.
No, I mean, we do have people who do watch and who do approach us. And there are the people who don't say
we
anything,
do.
who do
No,
watch and they
no, we
don't
do.
really.
I've had a number of, like,
Yeah.
I mean, beyond family and friends, I've also had just people, like random people that I've met
Hmm.
and um, have networked with, or have
Yes.
wanted to network with me, or wanted to do business with me, and they've seen our work on
Hmm.
camera. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes shows need a little bit of a hiatus, and even our lives, our daily routines need a little bit of a
Hmm.
hiatus and a cleaning up, sort of, as you will, a refresher, a purge. I know that you're really big on
Yeah,
purging right
I'm
now.
really big on purging. I think I'm always big on purging. It's something that I've learned from our friends,
Right.
Rav Tour and Sinead.
Mm,
And so Rav has his own show on Rogers, so make
that's
sure
right.
that you check it out, In
Yes.
Tune with Rav. And um, yeah, I think purging and really trying to get rid of a lot of things. One of the things we instill in our kids is that they are not to bring in any new toys or any new objects unless they have first gotten rid of like 5 to 10 things that they're currently not using, or clothes that they're not using. Um, and we're the same. And I guess the more that I simplify my life, it does get scary sometimes because I think a lot of things are security for us,
It's so
you know?
interesting that you're talking about this because I've been reading up on and following. I'm a Tori Spelling fan. I think Tori's awesome.
I do
Uh,
too. I was really loyal to her reality show in the
yes.
beginning.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still loyal to her. I have her books and I've seen her show. I think her kids are adorable. I think she's really someone to
I
watch.
think she's super talented, and I
She
think
is,
she's quite brilliant in how she's approached her life. And
yeah, really picking up the pieces because, life has dealt her some
amen to
hands
that.
that she didn't expect.
Yep.
And recently, I think probably about 2 days ago, her husband Dean McDermott said that he no longer wants to be featured on the True Tory show,
What?
just because he said, and this is getting back to what we were talking about, where he said that he doesn't want to have his emotions out there for the entire world. So he doesn't feel like he
Wow.
wants to bear his
How
inner
do you
soul all
feel
the
about
time.
that? That's really,
Well,
because then we start talking about reality shows, and as you know, I've had my share of
yes,
experience on reality shows,
yes. I've been in some reality shows
and
too,
it's
and
so
talk shows
interesting
too.
because
Hmm.
I think that I've started to shift my opinion of it. And it's very interesting because I didn't think I ever would,
Mm, I know what
but
you mean.
as I see how it's being portrayed in the media, which is hilarious because people love it.
Yes.
They love it,
They love it and they love to
and
comment
they
on
love
it,
to
and they're not
comment on
always
it, and they're
nice.
not always
Be nice,
nice.
people, be
I
nice.
agree. Be nice. Like
Yes,
we were just discussing this, and I think this is going to be
we
the
were.
theme of our show. I think that's the theme of our show. People,
Be
be nice.
nice. Oh
Be
my
nice.
goodness.
Can you
Yes.
imagine this world if we would just be nice?
Yes. It would make a huge
Agreed.
difference. I mean,
That is our show.
and
Be
be nice
nice.
at all times, because one lesson that one of my teachers in college said, you know what, he said there was this guy who he was, this was And some of you may know from reading my bio on my website and all that, I went to college for business marketing and also for journalism. And this was one of my journalism instructors who said that when he was working in a news publishing company, he had this young reporter who worked for him, and he said, I'm really glad I was nice to him and I wasn't like, mean and rude to him because that same reporter ended up being his boss years later. And he said, it's always good to be
Okay.
nice to people because you never know who you're going to be working for,
And that's something
years
that I
later.
learned. That's something that I learned when we lived in LA. That was one of
Yeah.
the first things that we learned in LA. Because what I noticed was that everyone would say to me when I met them, "Oh, you're so sweet. Let's do lunch. Let's go have lunch. Like, let's meet for drinks. Like, let's totally get together." And then my good friend, who was also from the East Coast, like us, would come to me and come over and he'd be like, "She doesn't want to meet with me for lunch. She's just saying
Aw.
that to be polite." And so what I learned, and it wasn't in a rude way, but it was the truth. It was the
Okay.
fact that
They weren't sincere.
LA, no, they weren't sincere. But this is the whole point. LA, the world, it's so small. The industry is so small that you don't know who's related to who or who has
Mm.
done who or who has been involved with who. And therefore you don't know, you know, what your action or what your words are going to do in the future.
That's
And it's
right.
the truth. And my problem is sometimes is that I do have a big mouth and I do have the type of personality that I'm very passionate about things. I mean, my number one emotion is compassion,
Mm.
and passion is in the word compassion.
Right.
And so I think that's the point is that it's important for us to just be aware that what we're saying in any given moment is passed down from generations to come.
It certainly is.
What we are
Yeah.
saying has power,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
although we don't admit it. I mean, no matter what your belief system is, there's a way to describe what I'm saying in a term that is fitting to your philosophy, which is the fact that just your words have power. That's
They
there's
certainly
no other
do.
way to say it. I tell my kids
Yeah.
all the time,
Mm-hmm.
be aware of what your words are. Be
It's so
so
true.
aware.
It's so true. I mean, even just starting the day off, reading some
We were
devotionals,
talking
some
about, I love that.
spirituals, some Christian devotionals, it makes a huge difference for me. I know it does for
Where
you
do you
too.
go? Where do you go for those specifically? Because I know that you've sent me some words which I have really loved, and I have other Christian friends who have also sent me other devotionals as well.
Right.
And I have other friends who are yogis who send me. But I mean, I'd love to hear
Right.
where you get some of yours.
Well, I
So.
love talking about Christianity with you because we are both Christians.
Hmm.
So it's nice because you have your sources, I have my
Yeah,
sources, and
we
when
could
we share
share.
them, it's really great. I love Joel Osteen's
Yes,
books and
me too.
his learning material. Really great, great encouraging. I think he has a gift for encouraging as well. I also like Joyce Meyer a lot. I like some other, also the Daily Bread, Words of Hope. These are all little booklets, little magazines that you can pick up at some of the local churches in your area if they purchase them
I've
and
seen
give them
Daily
out to
Bread
the
too.
menus. Right.
Hmm.
And you can also order them. The internet is also a wonderful resource. And even just following some of these religious faith leaders on Twitter. I mean, they tweet out motivational things all the time,
Hmm.
and it's so great. And I love retweeting them because I never know who is going to be blessed by those words. Something that I tweeted myself yesterday that didn't come from anyone else, it just came to me through God, is that leaders serve their people. And that's my definition of leadership.
Wow.
Leaders serve their people. They're not dictating to their people and having power trips. True leaders serve their people.
Hmm.
It's like parenting. You serve your children, you feed them, you bathe them, you teach them, you're there for them, you
Hmm.
set an example for
Hmm.
them. That's what a leader is supposed to do, whether you're a leader in direct sales or a director
Hmm.
or a producer or a store manager.
Hmm.
Leaders serve their people. It's really not all about you.
And I love what you said about, well, leaders are people 100%.
That's what Jesus did.
One of the words of my essence that I was
Mm.
telling you is passionate leader.
Yes.
And
Yes,
we're
yes,
talking about
yes.
passion. But going back to what you said about, service with your children, I was thinking about it the other day, which is the fact that in just loving our children and in just loving the children of our world, we are in fact providing a healing for them because they, um, again, depending on your belief system or your philosophy, they are this legacy that we leave behind. And if you can, just imagine filling this huge vessel with love and beauty and passion and healing and letting them be who they are and letting them grow how they want to grow, that is a legacy, that is a vessel that is going to grow and expand in ways that you can't even imagine.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, and when it comes to purging too, it's interesting because with Tori Spelling, she has these huge storage spaces of things that she's collected, things that she's done. I mean, as you probably all know, she's a clothing designer. She's children's clothing that she's designs. Does She writes books? She does all kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
and she just doesn't want to part with any of this stuff, even though she's paying each month to have them
Oh,
stored in
it's
this
tough.
huge space. Sometimes we do need to purge. Now, I'm very guilty of that too. There are a lot of things that I need to purge out of my life. You might be watching this and you might be nodding your head in agreement right now.
I
Um,
am.
but
It's true.
sometimes, that's a good example to set too. Sometimes just releasing into the world
Mm-hmm.
what we have and something that's not really servicing us
Yep.
anymore can
Releasing
just.
mindsets, releasing
Oh,
a
I like
mindset,
that.
releasing a belief in yourself, a
Mm.
lack of confidence, an
Yes.
insecurity, you know, um, releasing an old thought pattern that you keep on playing around in your head.
Yes, I definitely do that a
Uh,
lot.
it's incredible. We don't realize, I was reading an article, again, another article that I have, and I posted on Facebook, so definitely check out my Facebook page if you get a chance. But, you know, it listed the 22 um, top things that unhappy people do.
Oh, really? I didn't see
And
that. I'll have to
yeah,
take a
I'll
look.
post it again. But
Okay.
and one of the things is, well, all of them. I'm gonna fully admit I do or have done. At least in the last 6 months, like meaning I've complained. You
Yeah,
know,
I have
I
too.
have not
It's
seen the
not good.
positive in a situation. I've chosen to see the negative immediately. And
Right.
and what that shows me, it's when I show that to myself, I think initially it's kind of like a way of saying, hey, look what you're doing wrong. Like, this is bad. But what it is too is it's a reminder, that um, this is a constant energy. This is a constant focus that we need to have. Because if you
Mm.
complain like that, that's what's going to grow. That's what's going to expand for you. That's what's going to increase for you in your experience and in your day to day life.
Very
It's
true.
really tough, like to just
Yeah.
own that energy and just stop. Just say I'm doing my best and I like my life and
Yeah.
I'm happy and
Yes.
be nice.
Be nice. And be
Be
nice to
nice.
yourself. Be nice to yourself because I know that I haven't always been nice to myself. And when I think about it, especially when I think about from the years from childhood up until now, I wasn't even taught to be nice to myself. I think that
I
that's something
agree.
that, yeah, that's something
Wow,
that
that's a really good observation.
it's
Were
true.
we
Going
ever
this,
taught to be nice to
we're
ourselves?
taught to be nice to others. Are we taught to
Oh
be
my
nice to
goodness.
ourselves? Um, it's interesting,
That's a very
especially.
profound thought. I'm gonna just sit with that because that's true. That
Yeah,
really
it
is
is.
true.
It
The
is
other thing
true.
I noticed too is that when people cry, you're told to stop crying.
Yes, I was
And
definitely told that a lot as a
I
child.
actually did the exact opposite with
Really?
my kids recently.
Hmm.
Meaning I I had the urge to say stop crying when in fact they maybe they needed to get that out. Maybe they needed to express that emotion.
And maybe they needed you to
It's
help them with
and they
that.
needed me to comfort them. Maybe instead of just like that usual response that we have. And again, I could be totally falling flat on my face and you know who knows. But I guess the reason why I'm saying that is just that I just think that you're right. We need to look at things very differently and really look at what we were taught when we were growing up,
Mm.
and how is that working for us now? Is it doing us well to do that?
It really is something that we should be doing on a regular basis. Some of the belief systems that we've been taught are belief systems that nobody's even questioned,
Yeah.
and that they're just starting to question now, or maybe they never will.
Yeah.
But Michelle and I were just talking about makeup before we did this episode, and I was saying to her, I am so grateful that we live in a day and age where, because I mean, I love makeup. I'm fine with being au natural as well, but I like makeup. I like the artistry of it. I'm an
Me
artist.
too.
I love art. And I can't imagine living in the days when makeup was considered to be scandalous, that only prostitutes wore makeup, and that
Uh-oh.
I seriously, because I mean, suppose if I were to transplant myself back in time, 300 years ago, and
I know
I'd
where
be
I'd be.
shunned for, I know, me too. I'd be shunned for wearing, makeup, which is ridiculous. And of course, we see
I'd
it as
be a
ridiculous
gypsy.
now. Oh my goodness,
I'd be a traveling gypsy
I think
on
I
the
would
rivers.
be somebody who's just on stage all the time and wearing makeup
Oh.
proudly and
We
not
would be in the
really.
burlesque clubs. Forget that. I'd be dancing in the burlesque. We would own the club. We would be the
That's
madams.
true. That
We
is
would be
so
the
true.
dance hall madams.
We're actually,
Bringing in the
possibly doing
dough.
some event planning
Still wearing the
events
same
soon.
rings. We should talk about that. We should talk about some of our
Yes, we should.
undercover
Hmm.
friendly events that we would love for you to attend.
Yes, and to take part in, because as you know, if you're following us through social media, we have a wide variety of interests that all have similar threads. Um,
They're all under one nice umbrella.
they are, and they're all
One
interwoven.
rainbow. I think a rainbow is a better way to
Yeah,
explain it.
yeah, rainbow umbrella, definitely for sure. We need to really think about some of those mindsets that have been passed down and the mindsets
Absolutely.
that we still believe in, ones that may not even be true. So, or maybe they were true for a time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not true now.
Yeah.
Or maybe they served people at a time or
Mm-hmm.
a purpose, but it's kind of like when people for so long thought that the world was flat. It gave them comfort to think that. They didn't even want to go beyond their scope and explore. But the world is round,
Yeah.
and we can't hold on to beliefs that
Yeah.
just aren't true.
No. I think
And that
this
includes loving
conversation. I
ourselves.
think this conversation can go in a billion different conversations, like in a different directions,
Right.
and can be a super super spicy conversation because I mean we can go in that direction in politics and religion and in
For sure.
relationships, and I think you had discussed that earlier with relationships,
Yes.
and a nice segue into the conversation is your recent article that you had written, I guess just about people that are in
Public figures.
public figures
Yeah.
that are being persistent and looking for a healthy relationship, and
Yes.
and maybe getting married several times, or maybe they've been through challenges like a bankruptcy or any type of issue like that, but they're persistent and they continue on, and a lot of the times people like that are really looked down upon.
They're really
And
ridiculed, and it's a
I
sad
I
thing.
I'm putting my hand up because I've been through that. I've been accused of a lot of things and
I
been
have too.
put down and bullied, and
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I think my dad really taught me well. Like, he said never ever give up.
Mm.
Never ever give up.
Wise words.
You
Wise
know, if
words.
if that vision, and I firmly believe this as a Christian and as a spiritual person in general, which
Hmm.
is if God, source energy, the universe puts that thought or puts that vision in your mind for the life that you want to lead, you have every right to go after that. You have
Absolutely.
every responsibility to go after that because it's the purpose of your life.
I was listening to a coaching
Yeah,
call just
you're very
last
passionate
night.
about that.
Oh, absolutely. And I was listening to a coaching call just last night from someone in direct sales who achieved her goals, even when it seemed like it was just not going to happen. And she was saying that her dreams are like children in the sense where your child is there. You have to take care of that child
Mm-hmm.
and really help that child come to life. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
same things with her dreams. She says those dreams are there from God.
Mm-hmm.
She says she wakes up each day praising God, thanking for blessings, provisions, reading, the Bible, and just setting goals and tracking them and making sure that she's paying attention to them. But also, she said that it's her responsibility to make those goals, those dreams of hers come to
I
life, hers
completely
and no one
agree.
else's.
Yeah.
And she puts that responsibility on
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
And I'm really learning from that, and I really want to do that too.
Yeah. And you are doing that. And I think it's
Oh,
important
thank you.
that we have each other, number one, and
Yes,
we
for
have
sure.
our audiences,
Yes,
because I think it's easy. And please reach out to us. I think I want to be, and I'm sure you feel the same way, which is, reach out to us either through an
absolutely.
email or through Facebook if you do need that additional encouragement about pursuing your goals, and or if you feel that you are, mixing with the wrong people that are discouraging you, not to their fault of their own. I mean, at the end of the day, um, it's really about me. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
all about you at the end of the day,
yeah,
isn't it? Because it's
absolutely.
up to you if you pursue that goal. It's up to you if you, take on the challenge and push through. You know, we all come into this world, and regardless if you feel or not, you have a very specific purpose, and you
Yes.
feel that calling, and you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. You
I
just
do.
feel this calling
I
that,
do.
like, I'm different. I'm meant to be a different person. And our children, God bless them, because they catch it right away. Why do you think they all want to be princesses and knights in armors and
Yes,
superheroes? Because they know they are special. They're
absolutely.
special, and they're meant to be special.
Hmm.
So with that MLMer, or that direct salesperson that you're talking about, that
Right.
diligence, that commitment to her scheduling, and that commitment to, doing the things she has to do and going beyond what people say about her,
Absolutely.
is the same type of diligence that we do have,
Hmm.
and the same type of diligence that we need to continue to maintain.
Absolutely. And one thing that she said that I really liked was that she declared her goals to like 1,000 people at one of their
Wow.
seminars, conventions, and people laughed at her because there's no way that by this time next year that you'll be in this position.
Wow.
And she was.
And she
And
did it.
she said that um, each day she's focusing on the goals, tracking them. Also, she was asked herself, what I'm doing right now, is it helping me get closer to my goal or further away from it?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it was helping me get further away from it, she just didn't do that activity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's a really great example. Um, and I think too, though, that no matter how successful a person may seem, it's really important to keep in mind that pride goes before a fall. It really
Mm-hmm.
does.
That's the
Some of
other
these
thing,
people, yeah,
though.
some of these
Right?
people who are
Coffee, right?
so critical of people who are going through different relationship issues. And I mean, completely understand, especially, and I think, and especially in the industries, that I work in, and with my dating websites that I own, and with the
Mm-hmm.
passion parties I have, my independent passion parties by Akua Hinds business. I have customers who are female and male, and I don't often discuss this, but I do have quite a few of my customers, sitting down with me, having dinners with me, male and female, telling me about their relationship situations. Some of these people are professional people who you would never be able to tell on the outside that they've gone through some challenging times. And it just is what it is. Some of them have made mistakes that they regret. Some of them have gone through situations where they didn't anticipate it happening, but they go through what they go through, and there's a reason why they went through that situation. Sometimes it's not even about them; it's about so they can help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's helped me to also see
I
that.
That's another thing too, is that
Yeah,
sometimes people go through challenges.
it's true.
It's so interesting because a lot of times I find coaches too, like
Oh yeah.
mutual coaches. Like you just can't even imagine the life that they've led.
Hmm.
And myself too. Like, I mean, we all have our challenges, but and sometimes you kind of wonder, like, God, like, why do we have to suffer that way? Or
It's
but
true.
you said it at the very beginning, is that God doesn't punish us. I don't think that that's the right way to
Mm-mm.
explain it, because I think God is a loving God, but
Yeah.
I think it's these life experiences that are important for us to have because they
Yeah.
do help other people and
They're
they
teaching
are
tools.
they're teaching tools and we are going to be sharing it. I don't know if
We
you want to
are.
share
Well, I
share
know
this.
that we're coming up to about the end of our episode,
Yes.
but I do want to leave off this note that yes, we are going to be sharing what we know and other lessons that we've learned through our own experiences and through our connections with others. Some of the names will be anonymous, of course. Our names will be changed to
Yeah.
prevent to protect identity for some of these. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely we are working on a book project and we'll have all of that information available to you. Follow us on our websites, follow us through social media, and I also just want to leave off with saying that pride does go before a fall. Be careful about those people who you criticize because you never know. You might find yourself in the same situation and you might need some support. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We are going to have some more episodes coming up. And in the meantime, we are on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Other social media sites as well, Google Plus.
Mm-hmm.
My website is www.akuahinds.com. And Michelle, do
You
you want
can
to leave off with?
sure just visit my Facebook page. I think that's the best thing to do, which is Nikki Grace, a haven of inspiration to create the life of your dreams. It's the easiest way to find it. Or you can look me up under Michelle Bacani-Lim. My website is back under construction again. I'd like to change it, make it a little bit more accessible, and to include some of the other projects I'm working on, which are more real estate based, more business based. And also more performance based and production based. We've got a
That
lot
all
of
sounds exciting.
projects
Oh, yes,
going
we do.
on, and again, just like Akua says, they're all threaded together and
Yes,
fit nicely together. And I think it's because it's the life that we want to live.
definitely. And we look forward to spending more time connecting with you. Thank you so much for watching this episode and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye for now.